The story begins in a city where people are dying of hunger, and the government wants to relocate them, but only a select few. This process has been ongoing for several months. Meanwhile, we meet a girl named Lily and her husband, James. James wants to take his wife to another country, Ireland, because they recently lost their 2-year-old daughter due to the negligence of the country's government. Lily is currently pregnant and about to give birth, which is why both of them decide to leave the country illegally by hiding in a shipping container and traveling by sea. They are happy because they will soon board the container ship, and afterward, they won't have to worry anymore, since Ireland doesn't conduct strict checks. However, once they are inside the container, the gate suddenly opens and a large number of people rush in, all trying to reach Ireland illegally. Due to overcrowding, some people, including James, are forced out of the container, separating him from Lily. Lily is devastated because she is in the final stage of her pregnancy and desperately needs her husband. She calls James, who reassures her, saying, "I'll find another container and reach Ireland soon, where we'll meet again." Later, the police arrive to inspect their container. Everyone hides in secret compartments, but the officer warns, "If you don't come out, I'll shoot everyone." To save their lives, they all surrender. Since this is an illegal operation, the officer takes them outside, shoots them, and throws their bodies into the sea. However, Lily survives because she was hiding on top of the container. Lily sends a message to her husband, but there's no reply from James. Now her container is loaded onto the ship. Lily tries calling James again, her heart filled with fear. Maybe he was also killed by the authorities since all the containers were being checked. As she looks around, she spots a wine tin box and a purse among the scattered belongings. She lights a torch, wraps herself in a blanket, and tries to sleep. But in the middle of the night, she wakes up and looks outside, only to find the ship caught in a violent storm. The container shakes violently from the impact and Lily faints. When she regains consciousness, she realizes her container is sinking into the sea. She tries calling James again, but his phone doesn't connect. Then she hears people screaming. She steps outside and sees the very same container, the one James was forced into, sinking before her eyes. As she watches, the container disappears beneath the waves, shattering her last hope of ever seeing James again. Overwhelmed with grief, Lily considers taking her own life, but then she remembers her unborn child. Crying helplessly, she falls asleep. Suddenly, she wakes up again, this time to find the container completely flooded. Despite her desperate struggles, she can't save herself. And just like that, she drowns. Then with a sudden jolt, she wakes up. It turns out it was just a terrifying nightmare, but now water is slowly seeping into the container. Just then her phone rings. It's an unknown number. When she answers, she hears the voice of her husband, James, who had been dropped off by the driver at another location. Hearing his voice brings her some comfort, and James encourages her to stay strong. Suddenly, Lily's labor pains begin as the water level in the container continues to rise. She gives birth to a baby girl in these extreme conditions and names her Emma. To protect her daughter from the rising water, she places the baby in a wooden box. Realizing she needs to get to the top of the container to survive, she starts cutting through the metal with a grinder. She's exhausted, starving, and forced to eat spoiled food just to keep her strength up. She must stay alive for her child. Finally, she manages to cut through the roof and climbs on top. She sees nothing but open sea, until she spots a ship in the distance. Desperate, she waves her arms and screams, trying to get its attention. In her struggle, she injures her leg badly and has to tie it tightly with a thread to stop the bleeding. The pain is unbearable, but she refuses to give up. She must keep Emma alive. Now the biggest challenge is finding food. If she doesn't, she'll starve to death. Using airbags from the container, she crafts a net and starts catching fish to survive. Then James calls again, but this time his voice is weak. He tells her he's been shot and doesn't think he'll make it. Lily is heartbroken. Her last hope of rescue is gone. She tells him about their daughter and even lets him hear Emma's cries before the call disconnects. Overwhelmed with grief, she cries herself to sleep on top of the container. 32 days have now passed since she's been stranded. She knows she has to do something to save Emma. Using empty boxes, she builds a small raft and places her baby in it, floating it on the water, since the container is steadily filling up. While fishing, a bird suddenly lands nearby. Seeing it, she realizes land must be somewhere close, but how far? She has no idea. After all, seabirds can travel miles over the ocean. Once again, the holes in the container that Lily had previously closed reopen at night, causing water to rush in rapidly and fill the container. Lily now enters the container because inside it is a photo of her first child. As she tries to take the photo, her foot gets stuck in some of the supplies stored there. Meanwhile, the water has completely filled the container. Outside, the raft in which she had placed her daughter begins to drift away from the container. Lily somehow frees herself and manages to get out. When she looks around, she realizes her daughter's raft is nowhere to be seen. She becomes extremely worried because spotting the raft in such darkness is nearly impossible. Just then, her daughter wakes up from sleep and starts crying. Hearing this, Lily immediately figures out where her daughter is. She quickly swims to her and clings onto the raft. She stays like that, holding on all night. The next morning, when she wakes up, she realizes she can't survive like this for much longer. She thanks her daughter because just a few days ago, she had decided to end her life. At the very moment she was about to do it, Emma, who was still in her womb, kicked from inside, making Lily change her mind. Now Lily notices a large number of seagulls flying above them. She throws the fish she has into the water to attract even more seagulls, hoping someone from a distance might spot them. Soon, countless seagulls begin circling around them, and just as Lily had hoped, a fisherman in the distance sees them. He quickly steers his boat toward them. When he arrives, he sees a baby girl on the raft, but no sign of Lily. He is shocked, wondering how a baby ended up in the middle of the ocean. As they pull the baby onto the boat, they notice a rope made of airbags tied to the raft. When they pull the rope, Lily emerges from the water. They bring her onto the boat, but she appears lifeless. They administer first aid, and after a long while, Lily finally regains consciousness. It turns out the water pressure had blocked her airways, but once the water drained, she started breathing again. The first thing Lily does is rush to her daughter Emma and hugs her tightly. She sees that the family who saved her and her daughter also has a son. They now take Lily and Emma in their boat toward the shore of Ireland, where everything is fine, the place Lily and her husband had always dreamed of reaching. This scene marks the end of the video. If you like the story, don't forget to like the video. Thank you.